Hi guys, it's Nancy, and we have two new 3D emboss and cut folders over at the Spellbinders store. These are part of the floral collection, 3D floral collection. The first one is called Floral for You. And I'll show you what it looks like. There are 3 different sizes here. There is a larger, a medium, and a smaller one. The smaller one is a tag, and it has the 3 dies. And I'm going to show you how we're going to emboss and cut them out all together. Okay, and we're going to do that. We're going to do that one together. And then the other one is called Mushrooms from Me to You, and I've already done that one. And I colored them. Now, I just want to show you, you would really want to invest in some smaller, these are the Spellbinders, little stencil brushes, and I use them, and the blue on the outside was a bigger brush that I had. So using the smaller ones, look what the difference it makes when you use the smaller brushes. And I just used some ink and colored in, but it looks much better when you use the smaller brushes and get into the little detail blending brushes there. But there you can see the larger, the medium, and the smaller of the Mushrooms for Me and You cut and emboss. So you can do this a couple ways. If you just emboss it, it looks great just embossing it. But then if you take the dies and you just cut it out, it flattens your design. So you really want to cut and emboss at the same time. So how do you do that, you're asking? And that's just using regular paper. They do recommend using the Better Press paper, but when you get the embossing folder, the dies are not in there. The embossing folder, you're gonna lay the dies in there, and there's a little like cutout, a little ridge, I should say, and the dies are gonna lay in there. So you can emboss it first with your 3D embossing, and how you do that is adapter Platform A. By the way, when you buy any of the new platinum machines, including the new purple glimmer one, it automatically comes with these new platforms. If you have any of the older platinum machines, you can just buy the new platforms. You don't have to buy the new machines, but if you get the new machines, they come with these new platforms, which includes the 3D adapter plate. So if you run this through your 3D embossing folder and you forget, oh, I forgot to put my dies in, you spritz your paper. This is what you're going to get. You're just going to get it 3D embossed, which is great, but we want to cut them out, okay? You can run it through then and just cut them out with your dies. But then what ends up happening is you end up flattening your design, and then you have to run it through again and die cut it. So what's neat about these is we can do them both at the same time. So let me show you how to do that. So how we do that is they do recommend using the Better Press cotton paper because the Better Press cotton paper is very soft. So if you have some of that or have not invested in some of that, you might want to. So we're going to use Platform A and Platform B because these are 3D. Okay, so I'm going to put my base Platform A. So again, how it comes is a 3D embossing folder. And then I have my dies. And these are cutting dies. So they are meant to cut. And I have a piece of that paper ready to go. And I just have it cut in half. And what I'm going to do is you can see how the ridges, that is meant to sandwich my little dies in place. Just like that. You really can't mess this up. Okay, so I have my embossing folder, and now I have my little dies. Make sure the cutting edge is facing up, facing the paper. You don't want the cutting edge down. So the flat side of the die is down, and the cutting edge is up. It's not going to hurt you. Now I'm going to spritz my paper with my little Spellbinders spritzer or any kind of water. Just lightly mist it. You don't need a lot, just one little quick spritz. So my paper is lightly misted. And put that in there. Close my embossing folder. And now I'm going to put my D plate on top. So I have my base platform A and my embossing folder and die and my D platform on top. And I'm going to roll that through my platinum. By the way, you should have the folded edge in first. I know I did not. But you should do your folded edge first. Now when you run this through, it will cut and emboss at the same time. Now this is rather soft paper, so it should, I might need to run this through again. And it's probably because I did not have my fold correctly, which is my fault. Let's do that again. Crease first. Trying to talk and work at the same time here, all doing it by myself while fighting a cold. Come on, Nance. And filming. There we go. And yes, it is normal when you are die cutting or embossing every once in a while. You might hear some creaking or groaning or cracking. That is normal. Don't worry about that. All right, here we go. That's much better. Much better that time. Look at that clean cut. Oh, yes. Okay. And it's okay if you get a little bit of, if you had ink on these, or you get some inking or anything, you can store them in there. But if you wanted to remove the dies, again, they pop right out. I'm just going to move that out of the way. Now this one is beautiful because it has some foliage and some butterflies on it. And I will show you how easy it is for you to color these in with those little Spellbinders brushes. This one has a beautiful, they both have these. This little tag says, "For you." It has a little flower, butterfly, and flower here. The medium one has a couple different flowers, butterfly. And then the larger one is a big, beautiful flower. Mine's here like a peony. Some flowers and butterflies, a couple butterflies. And all I do is just take whatever your favorite inks are, and Spellbinders has a number of different kinds of inks now. They have distress inks, they have versifying inks, whatever you have. And you just go in and color those in. I have some Gina K inks I'm just going to grab here because they're in front of me. But grab whatever you have. And I just go with my little brushes, and I just lightly go over and just lightly brush the top of my embossed image. If you want your image darker, you add more ink. So just very light. This is also very pretty if you use some clear ink like Versamark and then go over it with your Perfect Pearls. And then it'll stick over it and be shiny. That will be cool too. You could color over it with color pencils, but any ink would work. that was Sweet Mango for the butterfly. This one is Wild Dandelion for the flower. And this just looks like a really big flower, and I'm using a bigger brush, so I'm just going to try to cover more surface area here. And I can actually go in and just grab a little bit of this, put that in the middle just to darken that a little more. And blend back out. And obviously I'm moving pretty quickly here. You'd probably want to take your time. There's so many techniques now with embossing folders you can search YouTube for. Oops. But how quickly this comes together with this three-dimensional look. And I'm going to grab some green. This is grass green. You could use small blending brushes as well, like the same brushes we use for stencils. This flower is so big, I missed a whole bunch of it. And I'm going to add a little bit more green. I'm going to add some fresh asparagus. Just again, add a little bit more dimension, a little bit darker green here. And there's another butterfly, and there's a tiny bit of black. can see how easily you can color the 3D effects of this embossing folder. Of course, you could leave it plain. You could go in with color pencils, so many different things. But this one, again, is called Floral for You 3D Emboss and Cut Folder. And then the other one is called Mushrooms from Me to You 3D Embossing Folder. And that's this guy here. So go check them out at Spellbinders. A whole bunch of new things being released, as well as some new butterflies themes. So again, 3D florals is theme, but some new 3D butterfly stickers, dies, new 3D wax seal as well with the butterfly on it. So go check them out. If you have any questions, post them down below. Hopefully you learned something new, but I wanted to really show you guys how you really should cut and 3D emboss at the same time instead of just 3D embossing and then cutting, because again, it'll flatten your image. So do put the dies in and run it through and die cut and emboss at the same time. If you have any questions, post them down below. And if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, and I would love to have you guys as a subscriber. Thanks for watching, guys. All the links will be down below. Bye-bye.